one of the great capabilities of even 5G and going forward into 6G is, health, body area networking, where you can monitor what's going on in your body, in real time, and it can be, downloaded to your cell phone for analysis and so forth, or it can be transmitted to your physician for analysis. So people with, for example, heart conditions, rather than being monitored once a month, they can be monitored in real time, and data analytics can be used to let them know if there's some issue that they need to deal with, and that's the capability you can only get with a body area network. There's really no other way to do that.
I just finished 5G. I was a leader on 5G getting that done, and now they're up to 6.
Let's do it again.
What does that do? Give you a little bit deeper view into somebody's skin? What does that do? Give you a little bit deeper view into somebody's skin? So the 6 is coming, huh?
It's coming.
Does it ever end? And what happens? You'll be into 7, right? Before 6 gets old, you'll be into 7.
COVID injection is exactly based on this idea. So all these fluids, right, there are nanoscale machines inside, right? So when you look inside.
In terms of bio-nanothings, these are for the health applications. I did also a lot of research on that the last 15 years. Bio-nanoscale machines, but these are for the, injecting into the body and always monitoring the health problems. And that is also really going really well, like with these COVID vaccines, it's going that direction. These mRNAs are nothing than small scale, nanoscale machines, right? They're programmed and they're injected. And then Internet of nanoscale things. So those will be part of 7G and beyond, right?
Another issue is that I'm having the same problem, maybe you too. There are some people, they are attacking me in the background about ethical issues. I hope it doesn't happen to you, that there are these paranoias that we are doing these things, that we are trying to poison the world. I'm serious.
Yeah.
So I hope it's not happening to you, but I assume it does. So we have to also teach these people that what we are doing is really helping the mankind, it's not just
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you're definitely right. I receive these questions as well. I mean, they attack through the ethical aspect, or they attack through the privacy security aspect. What are you going to do when you connect my brain or when you connect my kidney? I'm telling I don't have such intentions, or none of the people doing this research have such intention. Of course, when we come up with any engineering solution or science, it could be used for good or bad, right? We know from the Manhattan Project example or anything of that sort. So,
in fact, unfortunately, some maniacs in the US found all my work the last 18 years. I'm getting a lot of hatred mail, so my life is in danger. They think that I'm Dr. No in James Bond movies, that I'm trying to manipulate human lives, but it's, I'm not the only one. There are many people working on this subject,
Hopefully, people will behave nicely, but that's not the case, unfortunately. You're right. So now somebody can come and then really reprogram you and kill you even.
Artificial cells or artificial molecules which can be programmed and injected inside the body, and what will they help us is they will work together in a cooperative way, attack any health related problems. For example, we can find solutions for heart diseases and cancer tumors, or diabetes, or Alzheimer's diseases, or epilepsy, because they will be programmed such a way and injected, and they can attack those targeted areas, like for example Crohn's disease is an intestine problem, and there is no solution for these or cure for these problems. So these artificial designed cells, or these nanomachines, will help us to attack those illnesses, and it will prolong our lives. So that's an explanation in a nutshell. How these devices are designed, how they are programmed, how they are injected, how they go to their targets, and how they cooperate. That's where the communications people come into picture. and the biologists are needed for understanding the cell's behavior so that we can create these artificial cells, and then the programmers are needed to code these cells. So that's an interdisciplinary research, and also we need, of course, medical people so that they can tell us how to code these devices so that these devices will target these diseased areas. So overall, it will help us to prolong the lifespan of the people. So what are these bio-nanothings in the human body, right? So there are human cells are called eukaryotic cells, as you see here. And then the bacteria type here, as you see, typical E. coli bacteria, they are called prokaryotic cells. They are typical nanoscale machines, natural nanoscale machines inside the body. And then as you see here on the left-hand side, this is a eukaryotic cell tissue. You can see that all these cells, or eukaryotic cells, there's billions of them, they communicate, interact with each other. They can also cooperate, and they can create a colony, right? And here, the same way, the bacteria populates, and then they create this, it's called quorum sensing. So they multiply themselves, and they can also interact and then also cooperate. That's really happening inside the, in the nature, in other words. So when we look at the inside of these biological nanomachines, you can see that they're perfect little computers or nanoscale machines. Like here, this nucleus can be used as a processor, and the ribosomes are like biological memory. And then you can see here, mitochondria is the energy source for each cell. You can have multiple mitochondria here, or you can have chemical receptors like these. They're like acting like biological sensors or molecular receivers. And then you have these gap junctions, and they can be regarded as molecular transmitters. And so that's the typical eukaryotic cell case. And this is a well-designed eukaryotic cells. The prokaryotic cells, like the E. coli bacteria, is more irregular behavior, structure, as you see here. But the same thing, like little computer, right? So it has this nucleus and plasmids. Okay, it's like can be seen as a memory. Like you can see here, memory. You can store communication functions, sensing functions, and actuation functions. So you can program them, as I told you before. So we can have coding, and then we can code them into this memory, and then they can do what we want. And so then also these plasmids, they can be regarded as processors. These are the pilies, and they act like sensing and actuating. So now the human cell engineering is really not easy. Otherwise, it will be fantastic, right? So we can solve all the illnesses in the human body. So now how they can try to do is they try to insert a piece of new DNA code into so-called lentivirus cell. This is a special type of virus using genetic engineering. And this lentivirus infects the eukaryotic cell, the healthy cell, and injects a new DNA code into the cell DNA right here. And then it replicates itself, and then it will bind itself here, and then it can go and attack these, whatever the problems are. So, and this is still ongoing issue by these bioengineering medical people, etc. Right? So now you can see the objective here is we try to create man-made machines, like these or these here, right? Like man-made meaning, genetically engineered, and so the origins go back 100 years ago. So now the objective here is the following. We are hoping that we can have solutions for Alzheimer's, epilepsy, depressions, then brain cell monitorings, any tumors you can have, and like diabetes, for example, heart diseases. We can always monitor them with special, special design and program these devices, and then cancer monitoring devices. All of that, again, depending again what you are trying to monitor, right? And so you can inject these Kugan, or now they're called nanoscale bio-nanothings, and then they can observe what's going on. So as you see, let's say you have heart disease problem, they can always monitor it. And if there is any alarm, they can try to solve themselves. If not, then they can alarm to outside through using this gateway and then going to the physician, and the physician can reprogram them, etc. Massimiliano is professor, as I told you, and this guy was from Samsung, a Korean guy,
we try to create this model for particular drug delivery system. You can see this picture that it will explain you about what is the Internet of Bio-nanothings concept. So you see this human body has all these kind of like biological paradigms like neurons, hormones and calcium ions, calcium signaling, molecular motors, bacteria, and you know, there are zillions of them, and they create these cooperation, and then they communicate with each other inside the body. And then so then what we are trying to do is we will try to mimic all of these. We will create artificial nanoscale machines. Actually, these are very small scale paradigms here. And so we will try to create these artificial nanoscale machines and inject them like artificial bacteria, for example, or artificial molecular motors, or program. You can also call them program. And then they will be helping us to attack many, many diseases. So I will explain that more to you. So now what happens is while these inside of the body has all these biological phenomena, and they communicate, and then we can also try to get the information out of the body. Like we will have these gateways, interfaces. We also call them bio-cyber interface. They are like tattoo type that you can put somewhere on your shoulder or on your arms. You can have one or multiple, and it can use a near field communication to your cell phone because it's close to you right most of the time. And then you can use the backbone internet, and then it can reach the physicians or healthcare providers, you know, doctors in other words. And then doctors can remotely reprogram them, right? So you can transmit the queries or commands, reprogram these, you will see them. And then by this way, it will be a two-way communication. Of course, mostly the communication goes from the humans to the physicians, right? More asymmetrical.
Today, warfare has changed, again, dramatically. I don't mean just physical warfare of the kind I just described. I'm talking about the capacity, and it's not imaginary, it's not futuristic, and it's not exaggerated. It's moving very rapidly to a situation where, with the click of a button, you can bring down nations to their knees very rapidly, if you so desire, and if you're willing to take the risks, because every system can be hacked.
Because if we collect information from every individual in the world, there will be a lot of information here, right? So then you have the scalability problem. You need the scalable, secure solutions, for example, right?
Another question, is it possible to remotely reprogram those bacteria you put inside the human body?
Yes.
So if so, the security risk is much more challenging than we thought.
Absolutely, yeah. So actually, that's true. Like
at the beginning, you mentioned the network is two-way. So if the network communication is two-way and we can reprogram the bacteria we are putting inside the body, we have a huge risk of security over there.
This part is the cyber world, right? So now, of course, that's really very, very important that somebody will send all the wrong information and it can create a zombie, right? All the device inside can malfunction, right? So it's very, very important that who is transmitting or who is reprogramming that, right? So of course, it's very important.
And somebody, in fact, can cut the communication with the internet, and like a man-in-the-middle attack, and come to the near-field communication and reprogram it. And this is a huge attack.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, of course.